All the receipts are starting to come out about exactly what Justin Baldoni and his team did to Blake Lively, and it's awful. Everyone that was Team Justin or believing Justin and thinking Blake was lying may now owe Blake Lively an apology. The whole time this drama was taking place and Blake's reputation was being slammed, she stayed silent and so did her PR team. Well, it looks like there was a whole lot going on behind the scenes. Blake and her legal team have now prepared a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni and the team that was supporting and representing him because of what he did. So there were a lot of things that happened on set that she's made complaints about, but there's also a whole smear campaign that has now been revealed. One of the first accusations that's come out in this lawsuit is that Blake signed the paperwork to agree to work on this film, and after she signed it, Justin Baldoni had tried to add in more sex scenes. These allegations happened before the movie even began filming. Blake says that Justin tried to add these sex scenes in with her and even the younger version of her in the movie that weren't part of the book, included nudity, and she says it was done in an unsettling way. One of the scenes that Justin wanted to add was Blake having an orgasm on camera, and another scene was with the younger version of Lily losing her virginity on camera, which wasn't even in the book. Justin did eventually agree to remove these added on scenes, but Blake says he was fighting very hard to try and keep one scene in particular in. It was a scene from the two main characters' wedding night where they actually had an orgasm together. And Blake claims that while he was arguing about this scene and trying to keep it added in, he actually asked Blake if she and Ryan have ever climaxed together. One of the other accusations in the lawsuit is that Justin was improvising scenes in the movie where he was kissing or doing things to Blake that were not in the script. She also claims that they did not have the intimacy coordinator there at the time. Now, an intimacy coordinator is someone that is there to make these sex scenes and kind of personal. One instance in particular, Blake says that it was one of the kissing scenes where he all of a sudden grabbed her bottom lip and bit it when he wasn't supposed to, and he kept making them refilm this scene over and over. In the scene where they slow dance, she said that he actually took his mouth and drug his lips down from her ear to her neck, and he whispered and said, "It smells so good," when there was no talking required at this moment. It's also stated in the lawsuit that Justin would caress Blake with his mouth that had nothing to do with the roles they were currently playing. And also, when Blake brought this up to him and said she was bothered by it, his response was, "I'm not even attracted to you." Now, apparently this got so bad that Blake requested a meeting, and she brought her husband Ryan to this. So this meeting took place, and during the meeting, Wayfarer agreed that there would always be an intimacy coordinator on set, no matter what the scene was. If there was something romantic happening or nudity, anything like that, they would have that person there. It was also agreed that Justin would not be allowed to improvise any more of the kissing or affectionate moments that he was playing out. Another name mentioned in the lawsuit is this man. This is Jamie Heath. He was the lead producer of It Ends With Us. It's alleged that he and Justin Baldoni started sharing their sexual experiences to Blake, and they were pressuring her to reciprocate and talk about her relationship with Ryan. And in the scene in the movie where Lily gives birth, Baldoni and Heath pressured Blake to simulate full nudity when it wasn't mentioned in the script at all. And she was extremely uncomfortable with this. She says that she was mostly nude with her legs spread in stirrups and only a small piece of fabric were covering her genitalia, which is utterly lacking in standard industry protections. And then she alleges that Heath actually showed a picture to her and other people on set of his wife giving birth where she's fully nude, and it's extremely graphic. She claims that he and Justin Baldoni both violated her privacy numerous times by coming into her trailer unannounced and not knocking, and a few times she was undressed. One time in particular, she says she requested a meeting with Jamie Heath to talk about the unprofessionalism and how uncomfortable she was feeling. He decided to show up at her trailer while she was getting her makeup removed. She said she had to take her top off to do this because of where the makeup was, so she asked him to reschedule the meeting and he refused. He said he would turn away and not look, so she agreed, and she said she ended up turning around and looking at him and he was staring at her with her top off. She said the two men often talked about their previous addiction to inappropriate videos and also their past sexual relationships. She said it was extremely disrespectful and disturbing to everyone around. She said there was one incident in particular where she was in a car with other people and he started talking about a former girlfriend who apparently did things to him and how he had actually had sexual relationships without consent. Blake alleges that both men were also extremely touchy and huggy on set to all the cast members, and if a cast member refused or backed away, that the men would become extremely cold and distant with them. Justin Baldoni claimed he could speak to dead people, and Blake says on numerous occasions she would tell her that he was speaking to her deceased father. Blake's complaint says that she felt very sexualized by Baldoni, but that he would also criticize her appearance. One example is she had a onesie on with a jacket over it, and he made her take the jacket off and then told her that he thought she looked very sexy in a way that made her feel very exposed and vulnerable. In addition to her feeling extremely sexualized, she said that he also criticized her weight and age. She said this included voicing things to her like she looked old and unattractive based on some paparazzi photos. He also contacted her trainer 4 months after she gave birth to their child, basically saying she needed to lose weight. She says they deliberately withheld when there was a COVID outbreak on set, which caused her to get sick and her new baby. And the first thing that happened when the news of this lawsuit broke was everyone started saying that Blake Lively was just trying to save her reputation. Even Justin Baldoni's lawyers were saying that. Well, there's proof and evidence that that's not the case. So after the writers' strike happened and they were going back to resume filming, Blake and her husband Ryan had a meeting with everyone on set, including the producers and of course Justin Baldoni, to go over all of these things she was feeling and all these accusations. This meeting caused a set of protections to be laid out so Blake would feel more comfortable and that Baldoni and Heath would cease the inappropriate behavior. This all-hands-on-deck meeting caused 30 protections to be put in place, and 17 of them were set up to require Wayfarer to cease the on-site inappropriate behavior of Baldoni and Heath. A couple of the protections that were listed were no more improvised kissing and no more personal physical touching of or sexual comments by Mr. Baldoni or Mr. Heath to be tolerated by Blake Lively and or any of her employees, as well as any female cast or crew without their expressed consent. So Wayfarer, which is co-owned by Baldoni, responded and said, although our perspectives differ in many aspects, ensuring a safe environment for all is paramount, irrespective of differing viewpoints. The complaint also alleges that Justin Baldoni instigated a whole smear campaign against Blake ahead of the release of the movie. So it claims that in August, Justin Baldoni, fearing that Blake was going to let everyone know about the negative experience she had on set, brought on a PR team to protect his reputation and turn people against her. And this isn't just an allegation. Blake actually has private text messages and emails showing that he actually did this with his team. It went on to say, to safeguard against the risk of Miss Lively ever revealing the truth about Mr. Baldoni, the Baldoni Wayfarer team created, planted, amplified, and boosted content designed to eviscerate Miss Lively's credibility. One of the text messages that has been revealed is between a public relations exec and a crisis management expert, where he says Baldoni's frustrated and says, I think you guys need to be tough and show the strength of what you guys can do in these scenarios. He wants to feel like she can be buried. And the response? Of course, but you know when we send over documents, we can't send over the work we will or could do because that could get us in a lot of trouble. We can't write, we will destroy her. Imagine if a document containing all the things that he wants done gets in the wrong hands. There is now so much evidence of exactly what Justin Baldoni and his team did to eviscerate Blake Lively's reputation. And I hate to say it, but it was working. I'm going to go over all of the text messages and emails that Blake was able to get, showing the absolute proof that Justin Baldoni and his PR team attacked and held a whole smear campaign against Blake Lively. Make sure you hit follow. I will definitely be updating and following this case.